This is for grade six student book, page 127 up to 128, unit 4, lesson 1. Student book, grade 6, unit 4, lesson 1. Basically on this, you're going to learn about the focus on culture. So looking at the culture at this moment, so you are going to learn about the invention, culture, and traditions of different people in your region and around the world. That's a lesson based on page 127. And I also give you a few questions to think about at the bottom there. The questions that you must going to learn about. Which forms of technology have changed the way we live, as well as where do our architecture, art, and literature come from? How do our belief system affect our everyday lives? Why it is important to respect different cultures? What are the different forms of government that different countries use? So basically, you are going to learn about the culture of your region and other people. Okay, then this is very straightforward and simple. It's giving the information. As we know already that, guys, we need to respect each other's cultures. Okay, so we're going to learn about that. That's just the introduction for page 127. And if you go to 128, let's go to 128. I would like to explain there what's happening in 128. Coming up now, there it is. So then in 128, it's the real beginning of lesson 1. They tell you there about the discoveries, okay? The discoveries. To discover is to get something that people do research. You know, the scientists, they do research and they discover some information and they come back and share with us. Okay, so page 128, you need to read through that page. There are nice pictures there. There's a scientist there involved of the 20th century, okay? The inventors, or they invented the invention and discoveries. Okay, so you're going to learn about him, that he was born in Germany in 1879. He was a slow learner as a child, but later he became known as a brilliant scientist. Okay, you're going to learn about him there. And there's also a key word there, thought experiment, the way of thinking about and solving a problem by imagining it, okay? So there's a picture there at the bottom also. You just study the picture there. Bolts of lightning, as you can see there. There is label B, person on the train, and label A, person watching the train. Okay, there's a front and back there. So this scientist was very famous. He was a slow learner at school, but later he discovered he's a clever person. He thought experiment that helps to explain his theory of relativity. So he was very clever to imagine things and also to come with inventions and discoveries. Okay, so if you go to for the next lesson in 129, you are going to learn more things about the discoveries. Okay, basically it's about that for 128, which is for the unit 4, lesson 1. And then if you look at page 129, you're going to learn more about this bolt of lightning. They're explaining to you there. Okay, let's quickly go through them so you can understand. Imagine if bolts of lightning hit both ends of the moving train. When they say both ends of moving train, we talk about the front and the back. And then they say that person A is watching the train go past. There's someone standing outside the train. He's not on the train. You don't get the train. To him, it looks like both balls of lightning strikes at the same time. Person B is on the train. So person B is inside the train. He's a passenger. To him, speeding towards the front bolt of lightning, the front lightning bolt would seem to hit first. This gave Einstein the idea of for special relativity. Sorry. The idea that time is relative to our position in space. So he's trying to explain his idea there on paragraph 1, page 129. That's our scientist of the 20th century. Scientists found it difficult to understand Einstein's theory of relativity. So it was difficult for other scientists to understand. It was very hard, in other words, to understand his theory for other theories. It was very hard. However, scientists have used this theory to help them to understand the way the universe works. But instead of saying that it's just too hard, what they did, other scientists, they took it and used it to help them to understand the way of the universe. When you talk about the universe, we talk about the whole world on space, okay? The whole world on space, okay? Our planets, the sun, the stars, and everything. That is a universe. That is our universe. If you look at the picture, they're showing you the GPS. We all know GPS. A GPS shows you direction and places where to go. A global position system, okay? It's called GPS. GPS stands for a global positioning system. G for global, P for positioning, S for system. It helps us to locate our exact position on Earth, okay? We all know GPS, and more especially the cars of these days, they are modern, they come with GPS, with Google and everything. So it's technology. It's technology, grade 6, it's technology. GPS technology uses Einstein theory to do this. Okay, so that GPS, if you have GPS at home, that GPS at home, it's using Einstein's theories to do this. To do what? In order to direct people on the road where they need to go to. And then next to that GPS picture, there is a black hole. You can see the picture there. When a star dies, it all gets sucked together to create a place in space called a black hole. Nothing can escape from the black hole, not even a light. Einstein's theory have helped scientists to identify and understand the black hole in the universe. Okay, so now when the star dies, it's sucked inside the black hole, okay? When they say nothing escape from the black hole, in other words, if you get inside the black hole, you will never come back. That's what they say there. Nothing can escape. You can't escape, okay? They even define it there. A black hole cosmic body of intense gravity from which nothing, not even light, can escape. Okay, they're explaining that, they're defining that to you. Let's see for the next page, 130, what it has. We're almost done. On 130, they're showing you, it's a continuation of the lesson, 130, they're showing you another person called Alexander Fleming. Okay, Alexander Fleming was a Scottish scientist. Now, remember we said Einstein was from Germany. Then this one is from Scotland, Scottish scientist who studied bacteria and antiseptics. So this scientist studied only two things, bacteria and antiseptic. Someone might ask, what is bacteria? It explains there, it's written there. So a bacteria is a single-celled organism that can cause infections. So it's one cell that can cause infections, okay? That can cause some diseases and everything, okay? And then what is antiseptic? It is on the same page, 130. It's a substance that kills tiny organisms such as bacteria. So it's something that can kill a tiny organism, okay, such as bacteria. That is called antiseptic. If you look at the picture there, the first picture, you see him there, Alexander Fleming is busy doing his research. And then the second picture, Professor Fleming, okay? Professor Fleming was tidying his laboratory. He was clearing away some glass plates of bacteria samples, okay? So there he's sorting his stuff, sorting everything. And then at the bottom, there are two pictures. He noticed some mold had grown on one of the plates, as shown on the picture. And then the other one saying that around the mold, the bacteria had died. Okay, so it shows the other side is alive, other side is dead. Okay, obviously they have to use antiseptics to kill the bacteria. If you look at page 131, they're telling you more about Professor Fleming, what he has discovered, okay? So the first paragraph there is telling you that others discovered the mold was able to kill other bacteria. Okay, so it's just giving us explanation then of the mold, what it has done so far. And then the other two people there, Howard and Ernest Chain, did some more research. So the other two that they did, they went through thorough research to do other more things that they can discover. They identified the penicillin, the substance that killed the bacteria. Those two scientists discover what? They discover the penicillin, the substance that killed the bacteria. Then in 1941, a doctor called Charles Fletcher was treating a patient who was close to dying from a bacterial infection. And Dr. Fletcher used a little penicillin and noticed a great improvement in his patient. So these doctors, they went to do research, they bring information, they try to some of the patient, and it worked. He says a great improvement. So they've done their research. So you need to go through that information and study thoroughly, because it's for you to understand what these scientists discover and what they use the information for. Did it help? Did it improve? As you can see there, it just did improve. The doctor there called Charles Fletcher. Charles, 1941, sorry. 1941. Then if you continue there, in 1945, Flemington and Fleury received the Nobel Prize for Medicine. And they were awarded prizes because why? They have done so much. If you go at the bottom there, they show you they've got two pictures there. But before the two pictures, they're telling you about the discoveries of penicillin in one of the most important discoveries of the 20th century. This is because penicillin is cheap and easy to use. So that penicillin that helped a patient that almost died in 1941 is cheap to use and it's easy, okay? Can be used in a human body, prevents cuts and wounds from infection, has saved millions of lives. Very good information, as you can see there, okay? That is 131. There are two pictures at the bottom that are showing you the penicillin at the bottom there. Let's go to page 132 and see what we have on 132. On 132, they're showing you there, okay, very simple, television. They speak about television now there. The invention of television, how the scientists came up with it. You read through that information. And at the bottom, you have a graph, a bar graph. One side it shows the countries, and other side it shows the hours, okay, from 0 to 8. Okay, that's a discovery about the television. As you know, television these days is a new thing. Long time ago, there were nothing like television until it was invented. Okay, as this written there, long before the invention of television, many scientists had the idea for a screen that could display moving pictures from the late 1700 onwards. This idea inspired many inventions and experiments. And eventually the world's first television sets were made in the late 1920s. Okay, so as you can see there, so they've been thinking of the images and pictures in 1700, a while ago, until the late 1920s, then they discover some television sets. Okay, then on page 133, it's based on mobile phones. There was enough cell phones years back. These cell phones you had now, when you play games on it, you do everything, WhatsApp and social media, there were no cell phones long time ago. That is about the mobile phones, which is the cell phones, when it was discovered and how long did it take. And there's another graph there as well about the mobile phones. It shows the countries on the other side, and then on the other side, it shows the cellular phones, okay? Per person, as you can see there. And they're even asking you a question at the bottom. How do you think the invention of television changed people's lives? Very simple question. How did it change? We can even now watch the news on television. We get updates and everything. It's so much more and simple in these days with technology. That was it. Grade 6.